What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and today was honestly pretty exciting overall. I heard from some people that the markets were pretty choppy. In my opinion, they were pretty decent in OTC land. We had pretty much exactly what I expected on all the tickers that I named yesterday, which was nice. So I did bank on some of those setups, and hopefully you guys were prepared for them from my video yesterday and were able to bank on them as well. But today we actually had a crazy 1,500% runner in OTC land, which is pretty epic because those do not come along super often. So to see that is pretty awesome. And I didn't even take it seriously until, I don't even know, well into its run, but I was still able to make some money on it. And that is one of my biggest watches for tomorrow. So I just want to go over the game plan on that so that you guys can be prepared. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna try to make this a faster video. We'll see. I always say that and then it ends up being a normal length video, but we'll see what happens. So remember to like the video, comment if you want to help me with the algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already. That's pretty much it. Let's dive into my laptop. All right guys, so I'm here on my laptop and this is the chart for ELEK. And this is, as you can see, our 1,500% runner in OTC land. Pretty freaking incredible. But what I want to show you guys is, I would say, you know, first of all, we got to look at the yearly chart. You can see, I don't even know what was going on with this stock. It's like it was just born a couple months ago. I don't know what the catalyst is. I really don't know anything about why this stock is running, man. I was just trading the momentum on it today. Heard something about like some billionaire investor. I really don't know what it is. I know it was mentioned in OTC Method, you know, that chat room. So I'm not sure if it was just them. I'm not sure why this thing ran, but man, it's cool to see momentum like this in OTC. So I mean, this thing was just crazy, guys. It felt like it was never gonna stop. And in this OTC market, I didn't feel like being aggressive, you know, on a stock that ran from 40 cents up to $2 because you just don't expect it to keep going. But you know, it really, I guess, did hold that base pretty nicely. You know, I guess it did make a lower low here, but it popped up back into this range pretty nicely, reclaimed, held here, didn't break down, did that like 3 times, and it actually did that later on in the day that I want to highlight. So I just want to show you this real quickly here. You know, this kind of not breaking down area, and you know, I guess you can kind of draw a line here as well. Once it breaks that area, you know, it's able to go higher and run a lot farther. So just, you know, some little technical analysis things. But as we go up here, you can see just a crazy run. I actually didn't even start buying it until I believe it was up in this area, maybe on one of these dips, or maybe I started buying it on this rip right here, sold some here, tried to buy on the dip, you know, cut it, and ended up buying some more. I ended up making, I think it was like $300, $400, $500, something like that on this thing. Not too significant on my profits on the day, which was like $5,600. But you know, still a nice little, I guess, wallet patter. But the main thing I want to show you guys is just what happens when stocks run this hard, just so you guys can be prepared and be careful. So I want to show you MTRT. And this stock made a very similar move, you know, from that, you know, 20-cent range all the way up to $5. And this one actually barely broke 5 and then rejected hard. But you can see what it did the next day after it had that big run. It actually gapped up and it spiked a little bit before failing and tanking. So in an ideal world, we would see a similar thing on ELEK, just because, you know, that would provide, I would say, the most opportunity from the long side, because there are no shares to short of this, not on Schwab, not even on Cobra. Maybe Centerpoint has. If someone has Centerpoint, do me a favor and check if they have shares to short of ELEK and let me know in the comments down below. I would be super, super appreciative of that, because I know Cobra does not. I've already checked that, and Schwab does not. So if anywhere has shares to short of this stock, that's a place that I want to be in the future, because I want to be able to short stuff like this, because anything that runs 1,500% a day is due for a massive pullback. So, you know, ideally, you know, maybe we gap up a little bit to 580 or something, run to 650, and then panic, and there's some nice dip buy opportunities on the backside. Now, the unfortunate thing is, guys, we are probably not going to get a clean dip buy. We haven't seen clean dip buys like straight red candles and straight green candles. I mean, DPLS was probably the last one where that like really happened. HTZ, this one also had a pretty nice one. Oh my gosh, they changed the ticker, man. Why you gotta do me like that? On this day right here, it pretty much went straight up and then straight back down. I don't know if I can show a specific date. What day is that? The 2nd. Let me try real quickly. November 2nd, 1 minute. Yeah, so you guys can see here, like it's been a while since we've had like this many green candles in a row, this many red candles in a row. Now, obviously, this was still a little choppy on the bounce. I got faked out on this one and on this one. But, you know, it's been a while since we got them that clean. So my point being, it's very unlikely that we get just like a straight panic on this thing, even though it's ridiculously overextended. There's gonna be a lot of dip buyers on the backside, and it's not gonna go straight down. So what you're gonna wanna look for is when it gets too overextended, you know, and you get like $1 a share drop with no bounces, that's where you wanna kinda take a stab at it. And, you know, if you can watch the level 2 carefully and figure out exactly where to get in, then you can make some nice money on the backside if you can nail these entries. But just know that it's more difficult, and if you average down, you could get completely screwed if it doesn't end up bouncing. And it can always drop lower than you think. So it's better just cut your loss and rebuy back in at a lower price versus averaging down. But just be aware, it can be hard to get fills, so you might not get the fill on the lower bounce, and you might end up cutting right at the bottom. So these are all just things you need to keep in mind. If you're not familiar with this, guys, take really small size. You know, trade this with 1 share so you don't risk a lot of money if you're a beginner. I'm personally taking 1,000 share lots. It's not a ton, but you know, if it runs, you know, 10 cents and I have 1,000 shares, then I just made $100. So, you know, if I can catch it nicely on a nice dip buy, I'll take 1,000, 2,000 shares, you know, maybe make $400 or $500 or something like that. But I'm not really risking too much. So that's my plan on this one, guys. And I'm glad we're seeing this type of momentum in OTC land because it's nice, man. It's really nice. Now, I do want to talk about OZSC. This did exactly what I expected, literally exactly what I expected. So you guys can see, you know, this thing ran up pretty nicely. Actually, I guess if I show, let's just go 1 year. So you guys can see, I mean, this thing ran up from 3.5 cents and topped out at almost 9 cents. So, I mean, pretty big run there. And I'm just mad I missed the long at the open. That would have been a nice long. I mean, straight up from the open, literally. Well, I guess maybe it was this thing. I guess that faked me out there. I guess that candle faked me out. That makes sense. And I didn't really want to buy up here in case it was going to go red because I was pretty short biased. But, you know, you just got to look at the history, guys. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who get brainwashed by these stocks and end up taking needless losses. Like, I'm not here to be mean to anyone, but I just got to highlight this comment, man. OZSC won't drop. Watch what you do. It kind of sounded like a threat to me. But, I mean, there's just people who are so convinced that a stock is just going to keep going up and up and up. Every stock that goes straight up will pull back hard at some point. So, you know, if you get offended by that, I guess you're just new to the stock market. So, you know, it is what it is, man. This was a nice trade. DPLS also did the exact same thing. It actually closed weak. I'm tripping. Did that not update? Why does it look like that? I don't know if it printed some fake print after hours. This did also pretty much exactly what I expected. Same thing, you know, it spiked at open. I missed the freaking long at open, man. This would have been an epic long. I mean, seriously, you got almost 2 cents out of this thing, like literally straight up from open. That's so dumb, man. I'm mad that I missed that. I did get a short on this. Then I reshorted here. I didn't have full size though. Unfortunately, I only had like 40, 50,000 shares, kind of max for the real dumps here. But you know, that did help put me over that like 4,000 to like 5,500 in my Schwab mark. So that was kind of nice. But you know, it was a little bit tricky in here. It looked like it was gonna break down right here. If you were watching a level 2, like it really looked like it was, but ETRF, the market maker, held this thing up. And then later on, all up in here, it kept pushing the bid up. So I actually went long, like 200,000 shares up in here. I think like right here. No, right here. But then I ended up cutting it because it was still weak and couldn't go higher. And then they ended up moving the ass down slowly. You can see that, you know, then it falls off a cliff. Once it breaks that previous support area, it just absolutely dumps. So, you know, that was the play on DPLS. And it was a nice one. It was a nice one, man. Let's see what else. ILUS, this one did end up dumping more. I mean, it gapped up, but then it literally just dumped straight out of the open from 47 to 42.5, man. I mean, I feel like it's done that a lot. Like, it's gapped up and then just, well, I guess this time it did. I feel like it's done that a lot, though, where it gaps up and sells off. But we're still in that range, guys, but you just got to be careful. I feel like it hasn't updated, bro. I don't know why it's like that. I feel like the daily chart on these is not updating. That's really annoying. But again, guys, you know, be careful on ILUS. Could easily crack 40 given the overall market. If you're a huge fan of ILUS for the long term, that's fine. It could still crack 40. You know, even the best stock at the wrong time is the wrong stock. So keep that in mind. CYBL, I'm a little disappointed in this one. They actually reported like 600% quarter over quarter increases of revenue. So I was like, all right, you know, maybe that's the news that we need to break this thing out to the upside, you know, break out of this wedge and go to the moon, baby. But unfortunately, you know, it ended up failing. If I show you the intraday chart, you can see it was kind of strong in the morning. But then it failed. I had 200,000 shares from like 426, something like that, 423, somewhere in here, somewhere in the 420s. I was still holding here. Luckily, they put out like some new, they actually put out a PR and a tweet, and I used that liquidity to get out because it felt weak. And also, you know, it just comes back to the concept that I was talking about in one of my other videos of you don't want to buy into resistance. If you want to buy breakout, buy at the support, or buy once it's actually broken out past the resistance. So in this case, you know, if I were buying in the 420s, you could see that's right at this downtrend line, which is where it is most likely to fail. So that's why I ended up cutting that there. And good thing, because this thing sold off and I would have taken a much larger loss. I actually sold for, I think, like 60 bucks profit on that one, you know, with huge size. So not really that great. But, you know, I'll take a profit over $400, $500, $600, $700 loss, you know, selling down here on this dump. So I'm watching this thing, guys. If this thing wants to break down tomorrow out of the wedge, you know, maybe we get a gap down to 3.7 and then dumps under 3.5. This thing is probably going to see a pretty big continuation, I would assume, to the downside. Maybe go under 3, maybe go 2.5. That would be epic. Best case scenario from the short side. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on this one. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of those. RGBP, there was a little bit of a sell-off. Had a nice little dip buy. You can see here, we call that on the Discord. I actually missed this one. Bounced really nice. I did not expect to bounce that. I was gonna buy 500,000 shares of this thing. I just didn't, which stinks because that would have been 50 bucks for every, you know, hundredth of a penny. But is what it is. Can't catch them all. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of OTCs, guys. Again, ELEK, I'm just, you know, that's kind of main watch on OTC land. I actually do want to talk about RIVN because this stock is just so insane, man. This thing is just nuts. It's just nuts. If you go to 1 year, I mean, it just IPO'd. I mean, just look at what happened, man. I actually forgot. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think it IPO'd at like in the 70s, like 78 or something. And that was still overvalued. And now this thing is up here, man. This thing is up here. Absolutely ridiculous. The market cap is close to $150 billion. It just passed Volkswagen. It is now only behind Toyota and Tesla in terms of market cap. 2 stocks. And Volkswagen, I think they delivered an insane amount of like worth of cars. I forget what it was. Billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of, you know, orders just in the last few months. And Rivian, their revenue is like negligible. I think they've made like 1,000 cars or something like that. They've taken pre-orders for like 50,000, but in terms of like actual revenue, they're in the low millions. And they have more market cap than an established car brand that has billions and billions and billions of revenue. It makes no freaking sense, man. This market is dumb. Like, people sell off stupid things and then go buy stuff like Rivian. So hopefully we get a first red day on Rivian and it has a big pullback because this thing is an overextended turd. I'm proud of myself. I have not shorted this once yet. So hopefully, you know, we get one more great day and this thing can go over 200 and then I'll really be looking to short the first red day. I kind of doubt it though. I mean, I guess we'll have to see what happens, guys. I'm more short biased for sure because I mean, look, it's 5 straight up days. 5 straight up days. I mean, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So I mean, if we get when this thing goes red, I'm gonna try to hold it. You know, even if I can short 100 shares, even if I can short 500 shares, probably won't be able to short 1,000. But I mean, you can short that and sit on it, man. This thing could have a big pullback. I mean, this thing could have a $20, $30, $40 pullback. You know, 170 down to 140, 135. I mean, it might not happen in one day, but you know, 150 could easily, you know, 170 to 150, that's $20 a share if you nail a short on that. So you definitely got to wait for weakness. don't want to get chopped up too badly. You know, opening range lows would be ideally, you know, the place where you want to short this, but this thing is definitely overextended, definitely extremely overvalued. So I'm looking at this. Also LCID, this thing is, I mean, what a day this thing had, man. Pretty impressive. Why? Oh, there we go. Yes, I mean, that flag was nice there. I'm pretty sure Koulibaly is still long, like 1 million shares. I don't know exactly how many shares, but he said he was going to pay for last year's taxes, and he made like, I think, like 70 million last year, something like that. Just on this one trade, he's going to pay for those taxes. So pretty crazy, man. Crazy the potential of this, especially swing trading. You know, when you get these great breakout setups, this is just a great example. I'm not sure where he plans on selling, but this thing is crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. And that's pretty much it in terms of listed stocks. I guess I do want to mention, honorable mention to Humble today. This thing broke 50 cents. I mean, that's freaking pathetic, bro. This thing broke 50 cents. I made 200 bucks shorting this thing. Shorted 20,000 shares for the break of 50. Covered at like 49. So that was kind of nice. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just gross chart. So gross. I said I was going to dip buy this thing when it got to 20, but I don't even know at this point. I don't even know. I think it could go on a run maybe if the overall market heats up, but Jesus. I mean, that's just a gross chart. That's gross. Maybe I'll look back on this thing when it's at 250 and be like, why didn't I buy this? But got to think about the fact that billions of preferred shares from Foot's parents are going to be unlocked and stuff like that. So it's just bleh, bleh, bleh. Gross stuff. I want to show you, I do have some footage just of me shorting, just a little bit. I just want to show you guys. I shorted some OZSC. I really didn't expect it to pull as hard as it pulled, like without bouncing at all. So you can see, I'll speed up a little bit. You know, I'm short 130,000 shares right here. You can see my today's change up there. I'll speed it up so you guys can see, but you know, it's pretty nice. OZSC dumped pretty hard. I did make some nice money on that. I also made some money shorting DPLS on that pullback. So I mean, stuff was working this morning. You know, I made 1,600 in the first 20 minutes of the day. Got up to 2,000 there for a second. A little bit choppy. OZSC looked like it was going to bounce. DPLS did end up bouncing pretty high, which is kind of annoying. But I ended up making it all back and more. So you can see here, DPLS failed for a second, then bounced a little bit. Still scalping some. Up to 2,500. DPLS. I actually did trade GTI a little bit, but nothing crazy on that one. DPLS still going, man. Crazy. I longed some DPLS. Ended up cutting it for a small profit. RGBP. See, it's doing something there. Had a nice scalp at the end of the day. Got myself over 4,000, within the first, just over an hour on the day. So that was pretty nice. It's crazy. I mean, I made 4,000 something in the first hour and then ended up working hard for the rest of the day to make another 1,500. But yeah, just wanted to share that, guys. Pretty cool. Those shorts there. So OZSC was a great short, and just wanted to share that. Yeah, I mean, just crazy how hard that died. I wish I just stayed short, but it is what it is, man. Can't play perfectly every time. Didn't expect it to be that weak that quickly. And yeah, all right, I'm out, guys. See ya. Have a good one. Until then, until the next video. Let's go better together. Bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.